Yesterday we completed satsang at a point about gratitude and of the heart, which, not to say helping, but is connected to enlightenment. Can you clarify how are these things connected? You are asking a questions from yesterday. I don't remember what happened yesterday. Does this worry you now? Yes, I have been thinking about it since yesterday. And I want to find clarification how gratitude is connected to opening of the heart and the awakening. These things cannot be explained by the mind. Either you feel it with your heart or not. If you don't feel it, just start, and the time will come when it will be revealed. You can't explain things that lies beyond understanding of the mind. The things that are within the heart are unexplainable. Can you explain love with words? If you can explain love, it stops being love. It starts being something explainable, something from the mind. It is something which reveals on its own. When you leave the mind and all your knowledge, then immediately you appear to be in the heart. But human so much is used to believe to the mind, then it is trying to explain even love. It is trying to condition love by his understanding, by his knowledge, to put it into the frames of its concepts. Then love stops being love. It's enough just for a moment to leave the mind as it is, to stop feeding ideas, and immediately you are in the space of the heart, where gratitude is a natural expression of love. This is why I can't give an answer from the mind to your question. I can point to the source, where you should pay attention in order to appear to be in the heart. Just once. Try not to believe your mind. Try at least once for a moment to be in the silence of your heart. Then the answer to your question will appear by itself. The games of the mind are so much attractive and interesting, and they prefer to be in suffering for the whole life and then play these games. But sometimes a miracle happens. Human awakens to what is and becomes aware of the fact that the mind games don't give satisfaction. The moment you stop believing all these programs of the mind, you discover that you are the heart. The heart you've been looking for, you are already in it. You are already it. There's nothing to look. This is the only thing which gives you contentment of life, which gives you full satisfaction from what is. And love is a natural process in it. It just happens. One can say that you are the love. A question?
So we have a question. Yesterday I came to know that the person can be able to travel to see different places while doing deep meditation. I felt amazing after knowing this. Can you please share your personal experience about this?
Different experiences in meditation did happen to me. But I always used to know that these are just images in the mind. That's why they were not so much attractive to me. The aspiration to know who is the seer of all these images prevailed. What's the difference of the images you get in meditation from the images you get in this life? Images always change, but there is something unchangeable, which is what you are. And it is much more interesting because that's your true nature. The images of the mind are created by the mind. And being in the mind always gives suffering. Because the duality of the world is like that. After the beautiful images, there follows something opposite. Happiness is followed by unhappiness. Day, night, black, white, male, female, everything is this opposite in the duality of the world. And when you are looking at the pictures of the mind, you are being in this duality which always inflicts suffering. True meditation is not being in the most subtle pictures of the mind. It is going beyond the mind into the source itself, where Atman is being perceived, where that initial is being perceived, that which gives the possibility for all the images to be manifested. Find that in what all the images about the travel, the journey appear. Who is aware of the images? Who are you truly? Who is the seer? You say that there is someone who experiences, who is aware of something. If we talk about what he is aware of, the material of is being aware of, maybe it will give some understanding about who is the one who is aware. Yes, but then you have to point your attention, or to say exactly, to pull the attention from the images of the mind and point it inside of you. If attention is attached to the images and one has the interest to these images, he will look at these pictures all the time. What does it mean to look inside? To look inside the body, I understand. Inside, not a real direction, There is no actual position. The source doesn't have any actual position. It's beyond space and time. There is no inside and outside. When we say look inside, we mean don't look at the world of the objects. Look at the one who sees the objects. How an eye can see itself? The eye cannot see itself. When you look at the seer, you will discover that whatever you are looking at is the object. Then you are going to look for the subjectivity, or the source of seeing. It's like a pointer in the beginning. Later, you will follow further, and you get aware that there is no seer at all. There is seeing, awareness. Even seeing is not the right word. Seeing is pointing at something, but there is just awareness, but it has to be discovered. On this path, a lot of pointers are being used which are not the ultimate. They are the pointers on the path where you should move, keep moving. But at some point, you should let go of them and follow further. The point is that in the beginning you use the pointers, but later you discover that the path is over and there were no pointers anymore. Where to move? You don't understand. That's the point. You should be left where you are and stop searching. Stay in what is. Stay in not knowing, because any knowledge comes from the space of the mind. If you want to go beyond the mind, you should drop your usual path, your usual ways, and just be in what is. This path is perceived by many people as climbing some Mount Everest, but actually you are not moving anywhere. It's more like you're standing at one point and just turning around. You're looking around yourself and moving around yourself only. Once you stop, this center in you connects with what you are. That's it. You discover that you have never moved anywhere and you didn't need to go anywhere. Everything is here and now. But in order to stay in this simplicity and discover this simplicity, first you have to do this climbing, this heavy climbing, which actually later, you understand, wasn't necessary. That's the paradox. Because still you have to keep moving in order to discover that what you are searching is already in you. And for a long time you can be climbing different paths of these mountains. But at some moment, suddenly you stop and you get the insight that you don't need to go anywhere. The path, the completion of the path has always been. I have always been awakened. You discover that everyone is awakened, just they don't see it. They don't see it because they are not looking into their own nature. They are looking at the images of the mind, that's the only difference. Mind creates endlessly interesting images in this world for you, with all kind of colors, forms, experiences, and you're interested to experience this. That's the only reason for suffering.
There's a little challenge with the translation. I'm following partly by the hand. So this that you're pointing to, how does it move? Does it move? How does it move? And does it move?
It doesn't move and moves because it's beyond space, time. One can't touch it, can't taste it, can't feel it, because it's nothing. As Buddhists call it shunyata, nothingness, emptiness. Whatever is moving, it's in time lapse and in space, but that is beyond everything. But even the emptiness is just a pointer. It's not something you can imagine in the mind. It's just a pointer to the fact that it is beyond everything usual. At the same time, it's so close to us, even closer than our own breath. It's our own nature, which we are. It's not something beyond. It's that which is now aware through your eyes.
There's a trick. What is the trick?
These are just some word expressions to show that the point is that you are that, but you are looking for that. The same as the fish is looking for the ocean in which it is swimming. I had an experience in Ramana ashram. I just came and it got clear that there is a cleaning and there is what you call emptiness. But I felt motion in this emptiness. Something was moving there. Then it was over and now I'm here. That's the work of the mind, which is trying to describe it through sensations. Because the mind is used to describing everything. Even when something beyond is happening, it's trying to put it into its frames. No need to pay attention to the mind descriptions. What it is, how it is. Just be in this.
I follow. Sometimes I stay. Sometimes I leave. And yet, when I was listening, it seemed like there was some way to stay. But my experience is just that it comes. It is less that I am receiving something or getting something. It's more like something comes. It's there. I stay, and then eventually it goes, but I don't see how it goes.
Who is seeing all these comings and goings? Who is aware? It's not the answer which I wanted to give. Who knows that is not there. When we stay in this point of movement which you are talking about, in the point where we are self-actualized, who is deciding how much time it will pass unless this self-actualization happens? Who will decide how much time will it take? No one is not deciding how much time it will take. There is a kind of ripeness. As a fruit gets ripened, some mango fruit, it gets ripe and it falls at the proper time, at the exact moment, not later, not before. It is same here. The fruit should get ripe. That's it. My question is, what will happen to the memory when we are in this space? What's the meaning of memory? There is less and less of that in the point where we are not involved. What's the meaning of memory? The memory is the work of the mind, which will go on functioning just like a mechanism. A mechanism which was given to you. You should use this mechanism whenever it's necessary. When you are moving into the self-awareness, you don't need to pay attention to whatever comes up in the mind, to whatever pictures comes up in the mind, because you can't stop the mind. The mind will go on working. So keep on watching into the source of the awareness, into the source of the awareness of all the images in the mind, not at the images, but at the source of the perception of the images.
So I have the feeling that it is like jumping into the unknown completely if one totally decides this and does not put attention on any kind of past or future, just in the now. I have the feeling that it is like jumping into the unknown, so it requires courage to leave the memory aside.
I have a feeling that it requires courage to leave the memory outside.
Because I find it important, but I understand maybe just jumping into somewhere where there will not be necessary. So.
The fear is also the job of the mind. One shouldn't pay attention, because the mind is trying to attract you by any means to the usual state. Actually, it is only the mind creating this as a jump into the unknown. But actually, it's your own nature. You are born in it, you are living in it, you will be always in it. And you are in it always. So many people from different countries of the world come to this place. They come to this place, they don't know why. What's the benefit for meditation of coming to this place? The great enlightened master was living here, and it seems people like to be in the presence of this place, in the energy of this place. But actually, what you are is always with you, doesn't matter where you are situated. It's the thing which is not changing and it's always with you. You can discover it being in any place. It's not in a place, it is in you. But here it's more favorable conditions for meditation. The energies are helping you to do it. It's easy. People come here, people who have the intention to know their true nature. And people who are searching the spirituality, when they gather in one spot, it helps you also to point attention there. This is how the psyche is working. If you're in a crowd which is shouting some hymns or demands, you will join this process, you want it or not. And here is a special place where the great saint was living. And this place, it is soaked in his presence. And people sense something which helps them to dive into their self-nature. But it is not necessary. You can get aware of your nature in any place, wherever you are. Because this is who you are. It's not something which is beyond you, outside of you. It's you. I am interested in physical pain. Why someone creates pain? Why someone has one pain, someone has another pain? The pain is being created in the mind as well. It's also the work of the mind. The mind is given the interpretation as the pain. It's just a kind of energy tension which happens in some part of the body. Why it appears? It's a deeper question. But in the base of this is the programming of the mind, which comes from probably very far past. You said it's a kind of tension. Then how to deprogram that? The programs which are already there, they have already created the imprints in the body. They will be there. But what you can do is to stop creating the mind programs once you're aware of your true nature. Once you're aware of the mechanism of being programmed, then you'll stop believing the mind and you're aware of who you are beyond all the programs. Once you discover the game of the mind, you won't be able to play its games anymore. You won't be believing these programs anymore. That is what's called freedom. When they say that enlightenment is freedom, it means freedom from the games of the mind. Now, in this silence, if you set aside the judgments of the mind, set aside all your ideas, concepts, and just be in what is, that what is now being manifested is what you are. You don't need to look anywhere else. It is what you are aware of now and what is the awareness. Pay attention to this. Now, in you there is the awareness of the body, the awareness of the sounds, the awareness of the scene, of the sensations, of the feelings. Who is the one to whom all these things are coming? All this perception is coming. Who is the one aware of all the perception? The awareness is initial. Feeling, sensations, seeing, hearing, all these things are secondary. Be aware of the source, of the initial source. Body is just a source for the consciousness to feel, to sense this world, to taste it, to see its color, etc. Take your attention from the distracting moment and point your attention at the source of the awareness. That's it, nothing to look for. Just be in this conscious presence.
This surrendering completely to life itself, to everything, equal to staying in truth, in source.
Yes. When you don't have resistance to what is happening here and now. When you understand that whatever happens is divine manifestation of the Creator, of the consciousness, and you don't have resistance, there is no person who is opposing life itself. The moment of awareness, it's very clear. It's global. It's more global than sensations, feelings, than what you see. First you are aware, and then all the rest comes. That's why it doesn't need any efforts. It's a natural thing which is manifested now. The inertia of the mind is very strong and it attracts you to the endless wheel of creating of images. Just notice the presence, which is naturally always there, in normal life also, not only in satsangs. At some point the grip of the mind will loosen, and mind won't be able to attract you and control you that much. And you will always be in your natural essence, in your beingness. You are already in it, but you don't see it. Thank you for the beautiful satsang. I am happy to see you. See you again.